Hi all, this is Milind Mutalik. Welcome to Let's Catch Up, Interact and Share podcast. It's a unique opportunity to engage with the experienced professionals. The expert shares their insights, practical experiences, which will provide all of us with the knowledge across various fields, seek actionable insights that can enrich our personal and professional growth. Let me set the context with the story for today's podcast, The Symphony of Morning. In a lively neighborhood where the sun rose like a golden ball, painting the sky in beautiful shades of orange and pink, lived Maya, a happy working mom. Every morning, her home was lively sound, with lively sounds of activities. Used to wake up, creating a joyful routine that she loved. At 5:30 a.m., the alarm clock buzzed happily. Maya opened her eyes to greet brand new day. A quiet morning was her favorite time, a peaceful moment before business begins. She quietly got out of the bed, tiptoed to the kitchen to brew her first cup of coffee. By 6, the house was alive with energy. Maya's first task was to make a breakfast for her two children, Ananya and Rahul, in the kitchen. She flipped pancakes and scrambled egg. At the same time, with the laughter in the air, she called out, "Who wants pancake with sprinklers?" The cheerful response, "Me and me," from her kids turned the breakfast into a delightful feast. While the kids enjoyed their meal, Maya seamlessly switched between the tasks like a busy conductor. She helped Ananya tie her shoelaces, reminded Rahul to finish his milk. "We can't be late to school, kids," she said, smilingly, warmly. By 7:30 a.m., the atmosphere shifted from cozy to hectic. She reminded them to brush their teeth and pack their backpacks. Amid chaos, Maya quickly got their lunch boxes together, packing them healthy snacks while keeping the eye on the clock. With everything ready, the family rushed out of the door by 8 a.m., welcomed by the warm morning sun. After they left to school, Maya prepared breakfast for Shekhar, who had returned from his morning walk and was getting ready for work. Taking a moment of breath, Maya sipped last drop of her coffee from her travel mug, savoring the brief pause. After a few deep breaths, she settled into the workspace, ready to tackle meeting and presentation with the same smile she had while managing her morning routine. Maya's secret: found joy in chaos. Each task, whether it is making breakfast or managing work projects, was guided by her love and determination. This raises a thought: do we see such personalities in the corporate world? Those who harmonize symphony of everyday life, balancing multitasking and contributing value, or do we find people focused solely on single career path? It's my pleasure and privilege today to welcome extraordinary personality Dr. Priti Rao to today's episode of a podcast, Let's Catch Up. Join us as we interact with her, explore her inspiring journey, share valuable insights that are sure to be helpful to everyone. Let me introduce Dr. Priti Rao to all of you. She's an independent director, entrepreneur, chairperson of a non-profit organization, helping, guiding, ensuring even the sustainability in the environment. Dr. Priti Rao holds doctorate from Manipal Global University and a postgraduate degree in a computer science from IIT Powai, India. Her research focus on using technology and process automation to enhance gender diversity in the workplace. With 24 years of IT experience, including senior roles in Infosys and Dell, Dr. Rao has built significant global infrastructure services. Her contribution to the IT industry have earned numerous accolades for her, including IT Woman of the Year from a Computer Society of India in 2002 and recognizing as a Pune 2007 Super Achiever. She is donning multiple hats, managing director daycare, chairs Aatmaja Foundation NGO empowering girls with a disadvantaged background, chairs IT strategy committee as a director of Union Bank, investor and board member Biomed Innovation, supporting innovation in healthcare, advisor and the board of V Brigade Hub since 2023, aiding emerging enterprises, manages organic farming initiative near Pune, practicing sustainability and eco biodiversity, practices growing 300 fruits trees there. In corporate, she served over 12 years as an independent director at Mastech Limited, focusing on operations, HR, CSR while practicing in various committees. She supported a growth of Words of Maya as an angel investor for 2 years in Pune, independent director of Quick Hill Technologies, April 2008 to May 2020, contributed to strategic governance as an independent director. Vice President Global Services at IT at Dell from 2008 to 2009. She oversaw the global infrastructure services and IT teams at Dell, enhancing service offerings through software development. Senior Vice President Infosys from July 1997 to March 2008. During this nearly 11 years at Infosys, Dr. Rao built a thriving infrastructure businesses, managed over 16,000 employees in Pune, receiving accolades for her HR leadership while scaling the company from 2,000 to 80,000 employees. Head Development Center of Chennai for L&D Infotech for 10 years from 1987 to 1997. Currently, as a managing director of Pumpkin Patch Daycare Private Limited since 2009, she oversees 20 plus daycare centers in Pune, providing safe environment for over 1,000 children, facilitating many women return to the work. Chairperson of Aatmaja Foundation since April 2015 till present, Dr. Rao chairs the Aatmaja Foundation, empowering 300 girls from disadvantaged background with a professional education through financial assistance, coaching and counseling and successful career. So this is multifaceted personality for you. We are going to have an interaction with her, ask her questions to get a huge insights from her experience and a guidance for a lot of us who would like to start a career or they are in the career where we need some help and counseling. Thank you. All right. So welcome, Priti ma'am. And as I have already done an introduction to all of them about you, I'll straight away go into the questions wherein we will able to seek the insights and valuable information from your end. So the first one, you wear many hats as an independent director, entrepreneur, chairman of a non-profit organization. So the question comes in, what drives and energizes you to take such a diverse roles, which includes guiding startup, advancing healthcare along with what I've said in earlier, and promoting sustainable farming. So how do you manage these varied areas and what energizes you?
Thank you, first of all, for inviting me to the podcast. Whichever way you want to contribute, I'd love to do that. So I immediately took the offer. I think I am, to answer your question, maybe briefly, I think I'm physically and mentally very fit. And that is the source of energy because I keep myself fit by doing yoga at least an hour for last few decades, and I continue to do that at 99% accuracy. And that physically and mentally keeps you agile and active. But of course, I think some of my energy and things that I'm trying to do is rooted in my upbringing because I saw my mother doing something similar. When we were studying, she continued her education. She did her MA, MEd. She was a school principal. So somewhere, that sort of put some seeds in your mind that, that's how one believes. And of course, then the exposure to different careers, the habits of continuous learning make you think. Basically, I'm a very passionate person, and if I feel passionate about something, then I don't look at time, 45 hours, 90 hours, whatever the debate. It doesn't make much difference. You like to do something, and no, you spend quality time on that. Two things that I'm passionate about is technology and women. So I try to sort of see that no, whatever I do is more or less around that. I mean, of course, something like farm is different, but more or less, I think my focus has been my if different hats. It's been around that. Uh, does that answer your question or?
Yeah, definitely. Yes. So I take away from this a passion, upbringing, energy, and one of the very important aspect you said, women and technology and a health. I think important
Yeah.
points you've covered. Well, ma'am, after an impressive journey in IT sector with a solid academic foundation from IIT Mumbai, what pushed you to seek the further knowledge through your doctorate? How did your experience of global companies like Infosys, Dell, L&T shaped your decision to attend the advanced degree?
So basically, I was a good student all along. I was curious in different ways, and when it was not in vogue, I chose to study computer science. So that itself, I really had serious interest, and not just to follow that. But I think the Infosys stint taught me significantly and changed me from what I was to a thorough professional. One of the important values of Infosys is learnability. So you're selected also based upon whether no, where are you on learnability. If you are in a technology field and if you're having a leadership position, your customers expect you to know a lot. You expect you to talk a lot. Your team will not respect you unless no, you talk their language or you're able to guide. I mean, you are not just there because you are older and senior, but you are able to give them some guidance. Also, Infosys mandated at every level certification of different technology, and I actually was with Infosys for their journey from 100 million to 4 billion. And so that in that journey, I think I really had to wear multiple hats. And I did things that I never thought I would do, like training people. I speak very fast, but I had to train freshers, and I did that. So in that sense, I think there was a continuous learning. I appeared for exams because it was required. So continuous learning was a big takeaway from that stint, and that pursued me to continue think about what do I want to do, because like mental challenges. So what I do, whether it's my business or our foundation, I think it's reached a point where it's sort of stable, and I didn't find so much intellectual challenge, and that need was unsatisfied. Also, as I said earlier, my two areas of technology and women empowerment, I wanted to bring them together, and so I chose the subject that sort of matches the two, and that's how I ended up. I thought the Manipal PhD that I did is a good format. It allows you flexibility to do how at your speed, and I thoroughly enjoyed doing that. In fact, now I sometimes feel what next, and I definitely I'm wondering what next.
Great. So I'm connecting our next question to your, doctorate studies. Your research emphasizes leveraging technology and process automation to enhance gender diversity in a workplace. Can you elaborate some specific technologies or, promote which can effectively promote gender diversity? And what kind of barriers have you encountered in this endeavor which you have seen?
So, before that answering that question, I just want to wind back a little and say, I would say that all through my career of 25 plus years into technology, I saw this subtle bias against women, which is unconscious bias. I would think that nobody speaks that they don't want to promote women, or they don't like women. And it may be in Indian context due to trying to protect women rather than because that's how the culturally we are there. So I always thought, I mean, of course, there are many reasons as to why women are progressing slow or the percentages are not increasing. But my belief was unconscious bias is a larger contributor. And if unconscious bias is a larger contributor, nobody's going to say, yes, I am biased against this XYZ, so I'm not recruiting her. So this has to be captured with the technology that can help you realize your own biases. I have experienced myself that I had some biases in my journey, and when I look back, I realized that no, whenever there was any lady in my team who was pregnant, I would say, don't do this, don't do that, don't travel. So it may be a caring bias, but it perhaps impacted her journey, and so everybody kind of carries those biases. And I thought, and as I kept pace with technology, because I was on board of Mastech and Union Bank, I had to understand how AI works and know what can benefit. So, well, there are many benefits and many technology that can help. I thought AI was a sort of a suitable technology that can help mask the gender, whether it's a recruitment process or it's a selection of CV, or whether it's an interview, it's a testing, it's offering, or it's a performance appraisal and fitment. These are all the places where this impact can be easily masked. And and so I thought that makes a good choice as a technology to help women progress into the careers. Because if I'm sure that everybody wants to be fair, I don't think anybody is doing this to be unfair to somebody. But if I'm told that this is how I'm being unfair, I think that will help me. So I think these tools aid in such a way. I don't believe that women should be promoted or given chance out of the way. I think they bring their own teams, their own strengths into the teams. I've experienced that when the teams are balanced with men and women, they are better performers. So this was a small exercise during my PhD to find out how technology can help, and I focused on recruitment in an area because to me that appeared as a major contributor and something that could move the needle. And that's how, I mean, I think there are many tools and available which are based upon AI technology. There are platforms that can help typically into, at least in the technology sector, where they can easily adopt technology to help them identify their own biases and sort of progress.
Okay, I will change a track now, ma'am, from the doctorate to your favorite project, founding Pumpkin Patch. What inspired you to establish Pumpkin Patch in 2009? What challenges did you face in bringing your vision of a daycare center to life? How did you overcome those initial hurdles which you have faced?
Good question. Um, I actually was almost spent 25 plus years into IT services industry doing various global roles, traveling continuously. And I thought that at some point, maybe I'm rising through my designations and salary, but no, more or less I was doing the same work. And I wanted in my life not to lead and learn many things and do many things. And so I thought I wanted to call it a day. And no, when I had energy, when I had some passion to do something else. And so I was trying to think what I need to do. And what I had seen in the industry in my careers, that the major dropping off of women happened at their childbirth. So when they took that break, either they're not able to come back or the society's expectations kept them back and they were not able to come back to work. And so that's a bigger impact. And that's how there's a big gap. Though the freshers were recruited almost at equal level, at a higher level, you saw hardly any women. So I thought that if I wanted to help women in some way, that way, we are talking of 2009 when at least today you see a lot of crashes around, but at that time this concept was not so much heard of. In addition, my husband had gone through similar corporate career and has started a preschool called Pumpkin Patch. So he's the one who actually started Pumpkin Patch and he created it as a preschool. And I'd seen that it is working very well. To be with kids is also worth enjoying. No, that's some learning because I had never thought that I'll be the person who will, can love somebody else's kids. But when I saw him doing that, I thought we will expand that business. So we created a separate company, and I this company focuses on daycare and creches, and he focuses on school. To talk about the initial challenges, I think when you move from a large organization like Infosys and do something like this, is a big change. While while you know the change has to happen, it takes time for you to accept. Because in a larger company, there are people to help you. There are people to no HR is there and finance is there and no all kind of platforms are there. There's a brand, and so when you are inside, you don't realize many times how it helps. But when you're outside and really you have to write first offer letter for somebody, and no, you have to create pay structures, and no, you have to see design the vouchers. I think that's where no the challenges come. You realize no some of these things you've never done in life, uh, so that was one learning. The second challenge I faced really was that I mean these daycare is not like advertised business. I mean, if you put a large hoarding, nobody's going to send your child to a daycare because no they say an advertisement. I think you need to reach out to people. And I thought, at least in the initial few months, we found it very difficult to communicate. And we were placed in Hinjawadi. So we had to approach many IT companies to say, give us a session, let's communicate, let's see what is there. But I think to get those sessions was extremely difficult to begin with. Once we had sessions and once some 30, 40 kids joined, after that it is a word of mouth. But to get that going, to get the first kids, I think would be a challenge, which I think any new business would face through to get your first customers. But I think beyond that, there was no looking back, of course, until we reached COVID. And during COVID, of course, we became completely zero. And after COVID, we started back, and now we are back to 25 centers in Pune, doing well. Uh, I would think the second challenge I would think was COVID. Now, when you have to let the employees go because you cannot sustain for that long. While most of them came back, I think that's something that's still somewhere hurt, saying that no, at that time you had to do that.
Coming to Aatmaja Foundation impact, as a chair of Aatmaja Foundation, which manages the marginalized background girls, can you share a specific success stories that has particularly inspired you, and you can illustrate as impact on the community as well as on the foundation?
Sure. So my pumpkin patch business was sort of settled. I still thought that that was a for-profit business, and I was not really contributing to the society, and that was my bigger need internally to be able to do something because I thought at least after I started working, I had lived a privileged life, and all who of us who are privileged need to sort of give back. So I think there may be many examples, but I looked at my own self when I decided Atmaja Foundation. I come from a fairly lower middle class family. Both my parents were working, um, and my mother went out of the way to help me through my IIT education. It wasn't easy for them because while we think these institutions are cheaper, hostel fee also was unaffordable. But that stamp of the degree changed made such a huge impact on my life that I lead today the life that I had never dreamed as a child. And I thought that if a mother can make such a difference, if I can help 500 girls, that would be a great thing. So the word Atmaja actually means my daughter. And so we want to help these girls as we would educate our daughters. And that's been the premise. So we started in 2015 supporting small 20 girls, but this year we would be supporting close to 500 girls. And 100 plus girls have passed out, completed their education. We typically take girls in 10th standard and support them for 6, 7 years, which is a financial support and also the support to guide, mentor, help them choose their careers, tell them what exams to write, do personal counseling, etc. So all these 100 girls are very well placed. And I think that's when you educate a girl, you educate a family. I mean, you help a family. So in that sense, in fact, two families, because some of them are now getting married. And no, so I think it's looking back, it seems really satisfied. Whether it may be a drop in ocean, the need in India is huge, but still, whatever you can contribute, you do something.
It's
There's a
humongous.
happiness in.
It's humongous. I'm sure, this really is a big contribution, and it helps the society in big way. That's even my feel. Yeah. The next question now coming from the you know from NGO social work, coming to a sustainability. Okay, you're managing your organic farming initiative focused on sustainability and biodiversity. What eco-friendly practices do you prioritize, and how do you envision these practices being adopted and scaled in the other communities?
Just to give you the context of why I started farm, my parents had an Alfonso mango farm in Ratnagiri, so I was often visited there as a child, and so that connection to earth was always there. And so during COVID time when everything closed and we didn't have anything to do, we thought, why not start a farm? I mean, we could afford that, of course. So we bought a land and thought that we will do something. Of course, organic farming was a natural choice because you're completely living on pesticide-fed food. So it's a small farm, 2 acres. We are completely doing organic fruit farming, and we also grow most things that we need at home, right? From onion, potatoes, rice, wheat, dal, whatever, smaller quantities, vegetables. And since we started growing it, I'm finding it difficult to eat vegetables from big basket. So there's a huge difference. Once you start eating organic food and you realize that there's a difference. I think it's absolutely essential for a country like us to shift to organic farming. I think Northeast has quite easily adopted. Maybe they had not been spoiled with the chemically used fertilizers, but I see this is as a very slow movement. There is no real effort being done to move. So I'm not contributing to community in any way. This was my for my personal experience and maybe setting example, but it's not like I'm going to other farmers and trying to tell them that this is how you should do. I think it's going to be very difficult because at least to initially the organic farming produces on the lower quantity. It may be high quality, but it is lower quantity. So as it is, our farmers are troubled with all this weather, everything changing. In that, if you impose organic, it is difficult for them unless the government really does something that supports them along that way. And honestly, I find that difficult to believe that it will change so easily.
Okay.
So organic farming in the farm, that means that we actually don't use any chemicals or any pesticides. So we have learned, and I have got certified in organic farming, a smaller course. And but of course we have somebody to help us to do that. There's somebody who lives, but I think we have evolved over the practices, and there is a lot of content available as to how do you take care of certain pests that come because it happens. It's not like just because it's organic the pests will not come. The pests continue to come, but I think we are now able to control that in a good way.
Wonderful. So, my last question, looking forward, what are your, hopes, or what is that which you are aspiring to take up various new roles? Okay. What, and second, what advice you would like to, based on your experiences, want to share with a young professional, especially women aspiring to lead in technology, entrepreneurship, some of the tips for, making them making them to have the successful career in front of them.
I'm on board of a few companies, and technology remain continues to remain passion. So I continue indeed meeting wherever I am. I continue. I contribute in terms of uh, technology direction and what initiatives they take. Particularly, the banks are becoming a digital bank, and with the volumes of things that they are handling, I think they need help. And then I think next few years, at least, I see myself contributing significantly to these kind of initiatives, or maybe summer boards where I can contribute in a similar way. I've invested in certain startups, and no, they are reaching a stage of the next stage, and I think I have to spend some time before they actually are at least exited or reach to a Series A kind of funding. Atmaja, of course, we have bigger plans and will expand. So I don't know, I don't think too much ahead. Next 2 3 years, the hands seem very full with these three, four things. But but in addition to that, I've committed myself to something called Live My Promise, which means 50% of my wealth I promised to donate as a philanthropy. So my slow focus is changing from pumpkin patch or whatever for business or for money at you. to philanthropy. So I'm looking at and evaluating different causes. Sustainability, obviously, is something else that is newly I'm exploring. So I think in next 8, 10 years, in large terms, I think my focus would be philanthropy and how I can contribute money and kind both. Uh, that- um, I actually, in a very simple words, if I have to give advice to people who want to, I think I would say shape your career. So, whether physically you have to remain in shape, which is very important, but in addition to that, this SHAPE, and I say S is for self-discipline, H is for hard work, A is for articulation, P is for passion, and E is for empathy. And I
Yes.
think that sort of I embody that, and I think I've been successful in keeping myself in physical shape and uh, uh, and using these as things. And I think these go a long way. There is no shortcut to success. Hard way and self discipline is the only way to reach somewhere, whichever your capacity may be, because shortcuts can take you only so far, but long term hard work, self discipline, ability to effectively communicate, being passionate about something, and I think empathy. I would earlier say excellence, but now I say empathy because I realize how empathy, how large part empathy is playing now.
Wonderful.
So that would be my
Wonderful. I think within a few words, you summarized the whole of our experience, which shapes. Amazing. And thanks a lot for your time. I'm sure a lot of takeaways, when we see your different experiences, different areas you dabbled with, and you made them successful. I think it helps a lot of young entrepreneurs as well as the women folks to look at it and learn out of it to take the path ahead. So, once again, a big thank you for your time. And I'm sure we will meet again and have definitely more sharing from your end. Thank you.
all the best for your endeavor. I'm sure it'll contribute in a large way for people to understand, because each personality teaches you something, and this kind of consolidated availability of such a recording or a book will really go a long way in helping others. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you so much.